Welcome back to AFTV, everyone. Welcome back to the full-time show. Arsenal make it very easy against Sheffield United, winning 6-0 on the road and just keeping up momentum in this title race. I thought there was a point at which Arsenal might start to slow down. Absolutely not. They've made me look an idiot. I thought we'd win, but my word, this was comfortable. Were Sheffield United that bad, or were we that good, or was it a bit of both? That's what we're here to discuss. We'll talk through every goal and give every player the rightful praise they deserve, Mikel Arteta included. But it's not me running the show, it's all of you, I say as I get tangled in my wires. So we're going to go straight into some callers. Ron is joining us via the AFTV Plus app, where you download the app, iOS, Android, whatever it is, FANZONE. You can see it there. That's what it looks like. Come have your say with us. All right, we're straight into it. Ron, how are you, my friend? First time we meet, how are you?
Yeah, yeah. We got the game. Sorry?
You're cutting out a little bit on my end. Sorry, I'm getting slightly in and out audio. I can hear you happy, which is good. But let me ask you a question, see how much of it I can pick up. Otherwise, production will get on it. But 6-0, did you expect it to be so comfortable?
I expected it 7. So
7?
It could have been 7.
It really could have been. Ron, I want to hear more from you, because you predicted a 7-0 and it was 6. But I'm struggling to hear you, if I'm really honest. So I might have to get production to have a little listen to that. Comment section, you can help. You're all part of the production team in the comments. Let us know if that's coming in and out, if it's just my headphones. It might be fine on everyone else's end. So if they let me know, maybe I'll just ask you a question and let you answer it as much as possible. But let's quickly try and power ahead, see how we're doing. 7-0, why are we so confident it'd be 7? Is it just the form that we've been in?
Yeah, and the form that we've been in. Also, aren't a strong team. So if we done with other teams, we would like to do it.
Yeah, no, it is coming. Yeah, we'll get it. Yeah, okay. I'm really sorry about this, Ron. There are other people saying that the audio is not 100% coming through. We're going to try and bring you back, Ron, because I really want to hear from you, because fair play, you had the confidence and you backed it up. Let's go to Kian, though. Kian, how are you doing? Say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for me. Just see if the audio's there. Oh, it wasn't 7, it was 6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
There we go. Thank you. I should have stopped at 6. I had Ron's score prediction in my head. Kian, welcome back. It's been a while since we spoke. Be honest with me.
Yeah, been a while. Been busy, man. So been hard to get on. So
no, after a win like that, and I say after a win like that, like it's rare, but we're making a habit of this. 6-0, 5-0, 6-0 on the road. It's unbelievable.
Well, you look at the since the turn of the year, like we've 31 goals, only 3 conceded. It's phenomenal to see. And to be honest, I'm kind of annoyed we didn't get more, because I was like, after 5-0, I was like, can I not just get to 8 maybe? You know, I was a bit annoyed, but I'm glad the lads are. I think the only negative from the game is obviously Martinelli now, if it's a serious injury or not.
Yeah, obviously slight concern for him. We hope he's okay. A little like impact, so hopefully it's something you could hopefully shake off, because having got all these players back, the last thing we'll do is go, great, welcome back. Now you lot can do some stint injured. Absolutely not. We need everyone fully fit and firing. I was asked a question, if it got to a point where we have to prioritise, would I prioritise? It's like, no, like the squad now needs to be ready to fight on both fronts. Okay, let's try break down the game. So I think we could easily do 60 minutes of hyperbole here and just go, we were amazing, man, Arsenal, this and that. And I've never known anything like it. Let's really talk about this game. Arsenal started like a house on fire, and that's been a trend since 2024. So my question to you is, Kian, what the hell did they do in Dubai? Because there's either, it's one of these things, either you click, you unlock something and it just happens, and you've been working towards it and it happens. Or they took time in Dubai and found a way, and they ironed out the kinks and made it work. Or this was always Arteta's plan, to build on the defence, to build something a little bit more sturdy for the long term that would come to fruition. Is it one of those three, or do you see a fourth?
I think the way Arteta probably looked at it is, he said, right, we'll go to Dubai and we'll work out the nitty gritty why thing. And I think what he realised is maybe we need to switch back to the way we started last year. And the fact that we're doing it later in the season, we won't have that kind of fall off, obviously, from fatigue or that. We've got the players now. We can get players back. I think the positives we've had now of players, some players like Partey not getting onto the pitch now, getting that run of play, the fact we're able to rotate some players in, give them that game time ready to get ready for, obviously, this big run in where we have big games. Unlike last season, I think, where because we had such a high intense at the start of the season, we had players like Saliba get injured quite early, which did affect the season, but we've been able to manage our players more better, I think, this season. The fact that we didn't play that intense football at the start of the season, but now that it's later in the season, we're able to kind of put that intense mode in. And now, obviously, in a few weeks, we've got another bit of a break as well, which, in my opinion, send them to Dubai again.
Yeah, it might be. Go back to Dubai and take that a break again, because it obviously did wonders. I'm really interested to see how Arsenal use that prolonged break. I mean, I say interested to see. We're ultimately never going to know, because players are going off in international duty. But I'd love to see how Arteta looks at that in his mind, as, just the break, and is it time to switch off and take it easy because you're going to come back for a really intense period, or is it about keeping momentum and keeping focus? But we will see. Let me ask you the final thing, Kim, before we go on to some other callers. Always great to chat to you. Arsenal made the perfect start to a week in which we can go top of the league before that big game at Anfield, and we all know the one this weekend. That would make it 8 wins in a row if we did that. That could be really, really, really huge for Arsenal.
Yeah, it would. And I think the way you look at it is, I actually prefer where Arsenal are now this season to where we were last season, in regards to everyone's focused more on City and Liverpool, and all we need to do is just be consistent and just be the underdogs in the story. Like, everyone's writing Arsenal off for the title, which is what you want, really. You don't want to be, it's Arsenal's to lose type of thing. You'd rather be there come kind of the last few games. And obviously, as you said, like this weekend, if City and Liverpool draw and Arsenal win, we go top and we stay top. Which could be massive. And then obviously it could come down to like the City game potentially as one of the big games on the run-in for the league as well. So I just think we just need to be consistent and just continue trying to get as many points as we can, and if we keep this run going, there's no doubt we'll be there come end of the season.
Yeah, we're looking absolutely on fire. Kin, always a pleasure chatting to you, really is. Thank you for joining us, and we'll speak soon.
No worries.
And
Cheers, James.
No, always a pleasure, man. Let's get our next caller as well. Who is next? Ready to chat to us. Kian is still on screen. As much as I love having you on, Kian, don't know if anyone else is going to join us. Oh, we've got Frank joining us. Let's do it in a bit, my friend. Hello? Where? No. Where the hell are you? This is absolute nonsense. Do you know how much stuff we needed checked? Do you know the stats? Every time a goal went in, I needed stats checking, comments answered. I even tried to promote your boxing and I butchered it. What are you doing? Where are you?
That is the reason I'm not there today, James. Sorry I couldn't be there. I know I'm of use of sometimes, but I couldn't be there today. Coming towards the end of my boxing training now, so that was the reason I couldn't be there today. But I got home just in time to see the start of the match, and I'm so glad I did, because what a performance that was from the boys today.
So did you come in at 3-0 up, did you?
No. So I was on my way back. I missed the first goal, unfortunately, but I got the rest of the game. And listen, this today, it really was boys versus men. If we look at the stats, it's an absolute joke. I'll give you the stats. Listen, I'm not the information station today, but I'm still going to give you guys the stats.
They're 2 hours late, but they're here. It's fine.
Possession. I don't care. I'll give them to you anyway. 81% possession, 22 shots, 10 on target. Once again, we have limited a team to not having a single shot on target, and this is what we have grown to expect from this Arsenal team. Let me just hit you with this one as well, because it's a fantastic stat to know. Arsenal was just the second side in top flight history to score 5+ goals in 3 consecutive away league games after Burnley in September 1961. So
Wow.
this is the kind of record
Big up
that
Burnley.
we are breaking. The big up Burnley. Absolutely.
What happened? Do we know what happened to Burnley that year? Let's find out. Was this? Let's have a little look. Premier League 1961. Please say they won it. I don't think they did. Okay. What did you say? September 61.
September 1961.
Right. So it would have been the 61-62 season. Here we go. The Football League. They finished. I can't see him. Where are they? Second. They finished second behind Ipswich.
They finished second.
Oh shit. Well, that's all right because played. Okay. 42 games. How big was their league? 22 teams in a league then. All right, fair enough. Well, they ended up with 101 goals scored that year. So there you go. Frank, you're an uber positive fan. When it comes to the Saka world class debate, you say yes, he is. When it comes to can Arsenal win this league, you say yeah, we can. Is this a team genuinely, honestly, hand on heart, serious question here. I don't want to go too far because Sheffield United were that bad as well. But are Arsenal building something really special here? I'm not talking a team that we all love that play good football and compete for the title every 3 years, might nick a trophy. I'm talking, are we building a side that can, and fans will laugh because we haven't won the big one yet, or either of the big ones, and I hear it. But I just see a young side with potential. How far can we go? Do you get what I'm hinting at? Can we become what Liverpool and City have been for the last few years? Dominant.
I absolutely believe we can, James, and I completely understand about what you're saying about we haven't won the big one yet, and that is a massive, it's a massive sword that's dangling over our head there. But the squad that Mikel Arteta is building, and just don't want to bore you with the stats all the time, of course, but in this game we reached 300 goals under Mikel Arteta, and I think it was about 161 games. The only managers to reach that goal tally in a shorter amount of time are Pep Guardiola, who has won multiple Premier League trophies, Jurgen Klopp, that's won a Premier League, and Pellegrini, who I believe won the Premier League with Manchester City as well. So when you're looking at the stats like that, I think it's only a matter of time before Mikel Arteta can add his name to that list of Premier League winning managers. And if you look at the squad, and I'm going to say squad now, because over the years, I've always looked at the Arsenal starting 11 and thought, that's a good starting 11. That's arguably a world-class starting 11. However, it's always been an issue with the entire squad for me. And when you're looking at this Arsenal team now, this looks like a Premier League winning squad. When everyone's fit, when everyone's available, I was obviously absolutely thrilled to see Thomas Partey back today. We finally got to see that midfield three when he came on. Obviously, I know the game was done and dusted.
He didn't do great.
Sorry?
He didn't do great, Thomas Partey. He did some nice moments, but that's fine. Listen, he's not played for 6, 7 months, but yeah.
To be fair, like I said, I'm happy that he got some minutes today. I wasn't, it wouldn't have been the end of the world if he didn't play today, but obviously the fact that we got the game done and dusted in the way that we did, it was nice to see him get some minutes, get some match fitness, and obviously we got Brentford coming up as well, so maybe just give him a few more minutes and maybe put him in that game for Brentford, who knows? Yeah,
we'll see. I'm actually really interested to see what the 11 will be, because now we've got players back and we're going to want to give them more minutes. I don't think any of the subs did enough to be like, they've got to play against Brentford. There's a real conversation there. I think the reality is Havertz up top with Jorginho and Rice. That is the balance that's working for everyone. Going to leave you with just a quick stat that had... Sorry, no, it's not stats, some news actually. So Saka was feeling ill. That's why he came off. For anyone watching who didn't know this.
Okay.
Martinelli has a cut on his foot, which I'm kind of relieved about. I know it sounds weird. When it's a knock or an impact or whatever, you're worrying about muscle damage, bone damage, bruising. A cut, I think, within 2-3 days, obviously depending on how severe it is. I'm no medical expert. I've been reminded many times on this channel, I'm no medical expert, but I would think he'd be available for at least Porto next week, let alone this weekend. So that's the reason why they were taken off. Frank, we'll see you Saturday.
See you Saturday. I'll be there 100%. I won't let you guys down next time.
Information station. The Frank will be back. Big thanks as always, and let everyone know where they can also keep up with everything you're doing on the boxing front. Just quickly.
No, of course, absolutely. So my main platform that I'm producing content at the moment will be my Instagram at Frank Hastings AFC. I believe James referred to it earlier. I'm competing in a charity boxing match Not this Saturday upcoming, of course, we got the game against Brentford, but the following Saturday after that. Thankfully, they rescheduled the Chelsea game, so I haven't got to worry about that on fight night. So I'm absolutely thrilled about that. But like I've said on the channel in the past, at the charity boxing match, I'm raising money for a charity called Little Hearts Matter. They are a charity that assists children that are born with a single ventricle heart condition or half a working heart. I had an uncle that was born with this disease and unfortunately died at the start of last year due to complications associated with that. So I'm fighting in his honour. I've managed to raise over £1,000 for charity now. So I just want to obviously say thank you to anyone that's watching that has donated to that. And of course, thank you to absolutely everyone who has donated to that. If you are feeling generous, obviously go over to my Instagram at Frank Hastings AFC. There'll be a link in my bio where you can make a donation. And if you're available, Saturday, March the 16th, buy a ticket. Come and watch me fight. I've just found out my opponent is a Tottenham fan as well, so that's extra incentive to win that match, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Frank, big up to you and everything you're doing on that front, mate. And just quickly, mate, put the link in the comments of the stream, and I'll make sure production pin it to the top, and yeah, get that
Appreciate
in there.
that, James.
Mate, in a bit. So who's joining us? Oh, I know who's joining us. It's the man to my left. It's Laurie Lyle.
It's Laurie Lyle indeed.
He's been here 10 minutes. He was just setting up what looks
heater.
like the heater.
Hey, listen, man, it's so cold in here.
It is cheap. It smells like a toaster, I have to say.
Really?
Yeah, it's not like a good toast smells nice. It's more like burnt toast, but it's okay.
I don't think I'm going to burn the building down.
No, well,
I hope not. Anyway,
hopefully not. The stream will be going on. It'll be, yeah. But I tell you what was on fire.
You did get smoked, yeah.
Oh! we're different.
We're singing from the same hymn.
Yeah. We saw a little way in there. Look, I haven't heard your fan cam, and obviously people will get your full thoughts on your fan cam.
Actually, I didn't do a fan cam. I was in the interviewing mode today.
Oh.
Yeah, some of the guys was up in Sheffield, so we were
fine. My
less
bad.
people on the ground. But listen, man. I can only echo the thoughts of you guys. It was a resounding win, much deserved. I mean, 6-0 did not. In fact, it did flatter Sheffield, who should have won by more.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
You know, a lot of people. We've had 2-3 calls already. First guy, Ron, said I predicted it'd be 7.
Wow.
We had Kian said I was partly disappointed there wasn't another other. Yeah, I know you said it. Frank was saying it could have been more. So yeah, Arsenal totally dominant. Let's find out what our next caller makes of it. We've got Danny joining us. Danny, how you doing?
I'm rocking. I'm just going right now. I'm freaking out. Just for so many reasons. I'm talking with Laurie and James. How are you guys doing?
We're great. I'm freaking out because I've never known an Arsenal team this good, and I should have gone into this game with loads of chest, being like, we're going to destroy them, and I didn't, because Arsenal's history, the Arsenal I've grown up with, haven't allowed me to fully trust them. I'm like what I imagine a guy who's been cheated on loads is like, where they just can't trust him no matter how long it's been. But this Arsenal team, man, they're earning my trust. How about you, mate?
Oh, seriously, that's just been my life, I would say, with any sports team I follow. It's just heartbreak after heartbreak after heartbreak. Mm-hmm. But I don't know, I feel like this team just continues to prove me right. Just like every time, I think of we're so good defensively, and I just I'm a soccer coach, so I always think about the tactical side, the skill side to everything, and I'm just in awe of just how Arteta has just formed this master class every single time.
Yeah.
Every single game. It's just awesome. One thing I wanted to really get into was just how Havertz and Trossard, maybe not Trossard in this time, is just they've opened so much open for Martinelli and Saka. I've noticed so many more 1v1s on the outsides where Saka just starts tearing those fullbacks apart. I've never seen him in this kind of form.
That's a great point. That's a great point, because Martinelli and Saka don't look doubled up on as much. Now, is that because we're, like you said, maybe we're playing well enough to get them isolated? Are you saying the movement of Havertz and Trossard is creating the space for them to pin that? Because Saka destroyed Trusty quite a few times tonight.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. I mean, I just think it just like all those runs in behind Havertz was making, even though a few of them were offsides, I just think that just keeps some of those center backs, even the full backs, a little bit more in check. And it just gives them something else to think about. And I just think that's just been such a huge part to why we've been so successful. And I know people have been very hard on Havertz this whole season and the 65 million price tag. I know Turkish is all up on that, but I just think he's starting to come into his own and starting to create his own identity and really opening things up for the rest of the team as well.
Yeah, I think Havertz is playing the best football we've seen for a while. The best football we've seen in an Arsenal shirt. I think he is much more comfortable as a striker. I think his strengths, aka his movement, I think he can be a decent finisher. Surely showed that today. Good in the air, using his frame. Yeah, I think that's where his best position. Would you agree, Laurie?
Yeah, there's been a lot of debate about what is his best position. Is it as an 8 in midfield? Is it as a false 9 striker? I would agree with you. I think the striking position seems to suit him very well. In fact, it's given the manager a bit of a issue, hasn't it? Because if Jesus is now fit, do you go with Jesus, who's your recognised main striker, or do you go with Havertz, the false 9, but who's getting the goals at the moment and the assists and is playing well? So, it's an interesting conundrum there for the manager. But what I would say about Havertz is fair play to him, man, because at the start and the middle of the seasons he had a lot of detractors. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't say I was a total detractor, but I was wanting more from him. But now he is absolutely doing that. He looks like he's arrived in the team. And long may it continue.
Absolutely. Let me end on a final question for you. Liverpool, 63 points. Man City, 62 points. Arsenal, 61 points. Are we going to get it done?
Oh, man. You know what? Come on, you Gunners. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. I've got that feeling, guys. It's my gut feeling. I have no reason behind it, but come on, you Gunners.
What's the crest? What's the badge on your jumper?
Oh, I'm from Minnesota, here in the United States. And this is the Minnesota Loons from the MLS. Okay. We're a relatively new team, really beautiful stadium, so I support them too.
Lovely. I was going to say, because that looks a little bit like a liver bird on the Liverpool crest. I was just making sure. But no, good stuff.
No, not that. No, come on, you Loons.
Fantastic, mate. Always a pleasure. Speak soon.
Take care.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good one.
And you.
Thank you, mate. Thank you. Right, let's get Az, our next caller, to join us. Az, how you doing?
Yeah, not too bad, James. Yourself?
You're not bad. Were you in a club celebrating already? I don't blame you.
Yeah, it was something like that.
Yeah, looks good. I used to have, good.
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good.
I used to have similar lighting in my room.
Bit better than the last time we spoke after the Porto game.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I remember your call actually. Yeah, that was nothing like today. I mean, today we just. I've got to ask a quick question. Were we that good, or Sheffield United that bad?
Good question.
Do you know what? That is a good question. I think it's a bit of both, because obviously they're 20th in the league for everything: goals, assists, goals against, goals for. But
everything.
I just think as much as I'm loving this right now, Sheffield got so unlucky pulling this draw of our matchup in the form that we're in now. They must have been bricking it, honestly, coming into this game. And I was watching a thing with Robbie on it when he was asking the lads in the back of the car. He's like, "What do you reckon the score's going to be?" He's all trying to be modest and that, but come on, we all knew he was going to go there and slap a 5-0.
No, I didn't.
We've done it with Eddie and Ketia.
Well, that's the thing. So this has been, look, I'm having my fun on Twitter with everyone. I said it was going to be a bit of a nervy game, and I did a video where I basically said in it, like, look, Sheffield United have actually been at their most competitive against the bigger sides. City had to work hard for against them. Liverpool did, United did, Chelsea did. So, Tottenham as well. So I actually thought Sheffield United have more for us. Like Villa and Brighton smashing them, and Newcastle doesn't really surprise me because I would think Sheffield United would go punch for punch with them and try have a bit of a go against us and other clubs I've mentioned who they worked hard. I thought they'd be more resilient. Far from it. We absolutely destroyed them, which is why I wonder, is it all them? Or is it us being brilliant as well? Because we were scintillating.
No, we can't take it away from the boys. They've been absolutely on fire. We was absolutely brilliant. I couldn't fault no one. I mean, the only person you could fault, but you can't even blame the guy. He's only been back for 20 minutes. Is that's Partey. He obviously is a bit rusty at the minute, but other than that, every single player done their jobs today. And what coming back to when you were speaking with Danny there about the whole Jesus and Havertz conversation, Jesus now is he's definitely going to be kicking himself. He's going to need to get himself in shape, otherwise he knows he's got competition for his spot now. This time last year we didn't have that. All he had was Nketiah. Do you know what I'm trying to say? But it's good to see. Do you know what I was thinking as well earlier? I was absolutely thinking earlier, last season when all of these players were injured and stuff, it's like when we're bringing them in subs, we're all but now imagine bringing Kivior into a game where we haven't really seen him play. We're gonna be is he gonna be able to? But now we've seen him, I wouldn't be stressing if he had to come on at an important moment.
Totally agree. He's looking really, really, really comfortable. And on that Havertz Jesus thing you just brought up there, I see two players that are so unbelievably different. Like what we really want is a mix of both. The height, the presence.
They're so different, but they're so...
But different in a million ways. Jesus feels like more of a street footballer. Like, give me the ball, I'm going to spin, I'm going to twist, I'll go wide if I have to. I'm just going to play the game instinctively. Havertz feels a very calculated striker. I've got to be here, I've got to press there. And he had a really good involvement in a lot of goals, including scoring one himself. Havertz has the presence and the frame. Jesus is probably as strong, but from a low centre of gravity perspective. One's a ball carrier, the other's pass and move. Let's go. They are so different in so many ways that I'm interested to see which way Arteta goes for a lot of this season with them.
It's a good problem for him to have, but Havertz could have got himself a hat-trick today, man. He missed that one where it went straight in front of the goal and he just missed it. And then there was the one at the end where Jesus hit it bounced off the keeper. He could have tapped that in if he was just there, but I mean, the better we get, the more complaints we're gonna have. Like a couple of days ago, when we got the 4-1, you could have said Arteta out because we was going from 6-0 to 5-0 to 4-1. But man, I'm so impressed with the guys today, man. I can't wait for your tactical insights on that one, James. Honestly,
any ideas of what I should talk about? Honestly, I have no idea. I don't know what to talk about. When you destroy a team like that, it's not. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I think the last caller, whose name I just forgot, made a great point about Saka and Martinelli they've had more freedom. So maybe, So maybe I'll talk about that.
Do you know what? I think they've been working on that because they obviously knew that every time they get the ball, they're going to draw players like flies around poo. Do you know what I'm saying? So now that other players know, if we all go to him, we're leaving this pocket open for them. But now they're also confused. They don't know what to do because we're so unpredictable now. That was the main thing. We were so predictable. But now they don't know who to mark because everyone's switching positions. And they think, if we go to Saka, we're going to leave that open. But if we don't go to Saka, he's just going to run
Yeah, you're right.
It's a catch-22 for all these teams right now. I can't lie. I'm happy that we're not top of the league and we're having to defend it every game. That was probably too much pressure for them because they haven't been in that sort of situation before. But like you said a minute ago, I'm happy being the underdogs in this one, man. And just enjoy it. I'm enjoying this right now. I'll be honest with you. I'm enjoying it a lot more than I did last season because every game I was going into stressing. We have to. Obviously, we have to win every game for as long as them lot are winning up top, we have to keep winning. There ain't no room for error, but I can't see that error coming anytime soon, man.
I hope you're right. Always a pleasure, mate. Speak soon.
Okay, take care, bro.
Cheers, mate.
In a bit. So we've got Luke joining. Luke, how are you, mate? Just before I bring in, I'm so sorry, we've got super chats. I'd love to know your thoughts on this. Cesar with super chat said, remember last year we were so happy with 1-0 away from home. He's right, we've come a long, long way. And Minor Text says, just hope Arteta doesn't win Manager of the Month so the curse doesn't hit. Big up, James. Tactically, do you think Jesus gets back even if fully fit? So I'd love your thoughts on all that, especially the Jesus Havertz thing, which we were talking about just a couple of minutes ago as well.
Yeah. Honestly, I think we need to include one more player into that mix. If we're talking Jesus, like the number 9 role, I think actually Trossard is a really nice in between Jesus and Havertz kind of player,
agreed.
right? Because he has got like a bit of that flair from Jesus, but he also understands that's like Deuter kind of Havertz thing that's working out really weirdly well for us somehow. Because if you see it like from an outside perspective, it seems like we just wasted a bunch of money. But actually, I think he's one of our most critical players this season. Absolutely insane, smashing. Actually, I wanted to call in also for another player who's coming up. I'm Dutch. I'm from Rotterdam. I'm also a fan of Feyenoord. And a certain Arsenal player named Timber has his twin playing over here, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And it's really interesting. It's really interesting because both of them are absolutely smashing right now.
Really?
And well, obviously one of them is in injury. Yeah, absolutely. It's but
I heard he's got a twin.
8 role.
He's got another brother that plays as well. Yeah. So it's very talented family.
Yeah, he's a couple of years younger.
Yeah.
So what are we saying? We need a midfielder. Are you saying Quinton Timber's the one to go for?
Honestly, yeah, he's very physical. I know that Arteta likes that a bunch. He's very I think he's got like an 80% dual success rate or something. He likes to carry the ball in midfield, takes those long distance shots. Yeah, I think there could be something there, having that twin action going on.
Sounds good.
I mean, if he's anything like Jurian, then bring him in. Because Jurian, the way he plays, it feels like he could play anywhere. Are you thinking Jurian, the one we have, can have a big impact in the latter parts of the season? I mean, he's supposedly in full training now. I'd love to see him playing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've seen him play for Ajax. I've seen him play in the national team. He's like absolutely insane. Because there's a lot of competition in those positions in the Dutch national team. The centre backs, the left and the right backs. The Ake, the Virgil van Dijks of the world, right? Those play for us. So for him to have been included in those starting 11s for us, where we have so much quality, I think. Genuinely, it's
got Van der Ven as well. Got Van der Ven.
No, yeah, definitely. But I don't think he will start for us. Honestly, at all.
Fair enough. Don't tell.
No, there's so much quality.
Yeah.
I mean,
do you know who's a player?
No, I'm not.
You know who's a player who 10 years after would have been perfect? That's Daley Blind. If Daley Blind was playing today as an inverted fullback, because he was playing sometimes centre back, sometimes left back, sometimes in midfield, and now we've created that role for him. He would have been the most unbelievable inverted fullback. Honestly, he'd have been great. But there we go. We went a little bit off topic, but just very quickly to round off the call, Brentford this weekend. Are you confident?
Oh yeah, definitely. We got to watch out on the counter attacks. Ivan Toney is always dangerous, but honestly, I think we're gonna bag it, and I think we're gonna go to first place. I think it's gonna be a draw in the Etihad.
I really hope you're right, and of course, because I think those two are still in the FA Cup, so none of us will play till after the international break.
I'm sure there'll be some twists and turns. We may even drop some points along the way too. But I do think, and I've been saying this for a few weeks now, I honestly do believe it. I think it's going to go right down to the wire. You're probably looking at that last 100%. Sunday.
I just had anxiety. I'm not made. This is why I'm not on the pitch. I don't have the minerals for it. I'm just a fan.
Because the reason why I say that is, you're looking at three very good teams that are there on merit, and we're all fighting it out with each other. And I think it's going to go down, if not the last week, then definitely the penultimate week.
Yeah, all right, mate. Absolute pleasure to meet you as well. We haven't spoken before, so thank you for joining.
Nice call, bro.
And we'll speak soon.
Yeah. See you around.
We've got our last caller, Steve, joining. Steve, it's been a while, my friend. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys, Laurie, James?
I'm all right, man.
Yeah, good. I mean, our Arsenal worked hard tonight. A tricky win, but we made it over the line in the end.
Yeah, it was tough. I was sweating it out, but made it through.
I mean, and you know what? Again,
I just wanted to ask, because I have put that question to some people, because it's been put to me. Because we've had a run of games where, let's be honest, we've pretty much just run teams ragged, 3-4-5, 6-0. Are you a little bit worried that we may be becoming flat track bullies? You get that thing in sports where a team, they're just demolishing everything in sight. And then as soon as you're faced with a hard game, all of a sudden it becomes harder because you're not used to grinding games out. You're just used to overpowering teams. Are you a little bit worried that, that could occur, or?
You know what, Laurie? I do see what you're saying, but I'm taking the season like in three pieces, right? The first third, second third, and the last third. And we're at that last third. And to me, the way we were playing in that first and that second, that's when we were grinding it out, right? We had plenty of conversations saying, the performance is not great, but we're winning, right? And if we just keep on, the good football is going to come in, hopefully, at the end of the season. And it looks like we're there now, right? And that's kind of how I feel. Now, James made a question or a point earlier, about this Dubai trip and everything. And, I don't, I think it's a bit tricky. I don't know. Do we, and I'm posing this to you guys as well, do we give Arteta that much credit where, he maybe had a vision of, we lost the league last year because we were running and gunning at 100% from game one to basically last game, or when we kind of blew it at the end, right? Did he come in this year with the mentality of, we must switch it up, we have to slow the pace so that we can sustain for the full season? And that's a question I've been asking myself, and basically saying, was this the plan all along? That once the latter part of the season came around, that's when we turn it up and we go full bore.
Do you think
right
it is?
Now, I mean,
do you think that was the plan?
I do. I do. And the only reason I say I do is because, in my opinion, Arteta has done enough or shown enough to me that I am giving him the benefit of the doubt from my point of view.
Yeah.
And it's funny that that this switch kind of just turned on, after this break, right? We came from some horrible defeats trying to play this slower pace football, and we take this break, and then we come out of the break just guns blazing, to be honest, right? I mean, this is the football we were watching all last year, and we loved it. Now, granted, some of the opponents today, I mean, I told one of my friends, I said, this is 4-0 easily. There's no way and I get it, be humble, respect the opponent, but guys, we're 2 points off top. This team is in last. The scale, the difference is just, and not even just that, just the way we've been playing recently. Yeah. And what showed me a lot was we lost that game to Porto, and it felt like we played angry in the next game, right? Typical Arsenal game would have been, we lose to Porto, we come out and we drop that next game again. And it was like the complete opposite.
Yeah, on the question of whether this was all intentional, you summed up brilliantly by saying, Arteta basically deserves the benefit of the doubt. Ultimately, while I don't have a fully formed, definite answer or opinion on it, I'm kind of going to go with, yeah, he probably absolutely did do this on purpose. And I think the one tangible bit of evidence there is we have the best defensive record in the league at this point of the season, and it's come as we seem to have spent the first half of the season really trying to work on our defence and being better at controlling transition and playing centre-backs at full-back, and we did that a little bit last season, but basically not going all out and trying to have more control. So everyone kept saying the control isn't as fun as the energy of last season, but is it more likely to get us over the line? And if that was the narrative then, when things were negative and we were having some down moments, we weren't as positive as we're feeling now, then I think as we're doing well, you've got to use that same thing as actually the reason why we're there. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, if that's the analysis back then, then it's got to be the analysis now, and we've got to view it differently and go, but it's working. And Arsenal, in all phases of play, look like it's not like we found our goals, but we look really open at the back. My only criticism of Liverpool, I know they've had a lot of injuries, so even rewind 2-3 weeks ago before this total injury crisis, I felt that they were brilliant going forward, but they were conceding chances. We both scored 4 against Newcastle in 2024. And our 4, in my opinion, was way more impressive. They don't get a bloody trophy for that. But we demolished, controlled, battled, we had everything. Now, I think Liverpool had more shots, probably could have scored 8 or 9 on the day, but Newcastle could have scored 3 or 4. In fact, they did get 2. So it's different styles, and I'm really interested to see which gets over the line at the end of the season.
I think for me, you raise a very interesting point, and I do see where you're coming from. However, I would, if I can, agree to disagree.
Of course you can.
I think that the major difference has been 2 things. I think one is the experience. If you've done something before, the next time you are in that situation, you know how to cope with things better. So if you've ever run a marathon, people will say the first one I did was really hard. The second time, because I did it the first time, I knew how to pace myself better. I knew how to, to judge the race better. And I think that's what we're seeing this season with Arsenal. And so I do agree with you up to a point, but I do think that the fact that the experience we've acquired from the previous campaign, and secondly, I think that injuries are acting in reverse at this point of the season. So if you look at last year, we had pivotal injuries to key players, which kind of slowed the momentum down. People said, they bottled it. I don't see it that way. I think that we suffered injuries at a bad time and it just got the better of us. Whereas this time, we've had injuries earlier in the season, but those guys, the key players, are now starting to come back. You saw Partey today, Jesus. We may even get Timber back as well. So I think that could be crucial in the running.
We've got to round it off.
And you know what? That's a credit.
I was about to say, make a final point. Go for it. Yeah.
I was just to piggyback on that. I think that's a credit to the squad, right? Because I watch and I listen to a lot of different people's opinions, and everyone always wants to talk about their injuries, but no one ever talks about Arsenal's injuries, right?
Yeah,
we basically played without Partey all year.
Exactly, and Timber.
Yeah, very, very true.
And yeah.
Mate, absolute pleasure. Thank you so much again for joining us.
Yes, guys.
Great call.
I'll see you guys.
Always a great call.
Yeah,
speak soon. Final super chats. # Yusuf says, good win for the Arsenal. Good, great, superb, whatever word you want to use. He'll certainly good at least. Ibby says, I remember thinking in 18, 19, 20, they stopped scoring because they feel sorry for us. 4 years later now, we are doing that. Enjoy this ride, Gooners. Enjoy. I absolutely hear it. Now, so we're going to end the show very quickly on this. It's a great graphic from Sky Sports. Obviously can't show it, but you're going to see it doing the rounds on socials. I've retweeted it. They've looked at the run-in and what they've done. And I'm going to show you, Laurie.
Point.
Well, no. They've not quite done that. But what they've done is they've given every player, every team in the run-in, a green for bottom 6, a yellow for 7th to 14th, and a red for top 6. Arsenal have 1, 2, 3 players in the bottom. Sorry, teams in the bottom 6 to play. City have 2 teams in the bottom 6 to play. Liverpool have 2 teams in the bottom 6 to play. In 7th to 14th, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 to play. City have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Liverpool have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. City in the top 6 have 1, 2, 3, 4 to play. Liverpool have 1, 2, 3, 4 to play. And we have also 4 to play. It's incredibly balanced.
It's incredibly tough. But I think they're suggesting by those stats that City might have slightly the more easier running. Is that right?
Well, we've got the most teams in the bottom 6 to play, but I think with City's run, they've got some of those harder games like Arsenal, like Villa at home, but they do go to Tottenham. So I don't know. I think it's really fascinating. Obviously, we got trips to Tottenham, United, and City still to come. We have played Liverpool twice, they're taking 4 points, but we'll obviously keep an eye on that. We are very, very
simplify that by saying that, to me, this title could be decided on away form.
Yeah,
so
maybe.
the away game.
Well,
because if you look at the 3 teams involved, they are the outstanding teams without any shadow of a doubt. And I think that, I mean, I know today's an exception, but most of the time when you go away, that's when you're going to get your sterner test. So those 3 teams would be expected to win all of their home games, unless they're playing, you know, if it's... So yeah, the away form is probably what's going to clinch this title. I mean, certainly if we can go away and beat City, well, there you have it.
Yeah, very true. Laurie, it's always a pleasure, mate. Thanks for joining me for the second half of the show. Everyone, thank you for calling in. Download the AFTV Plus app if you haven't yet, because it's not just for FanZone, it's for lots of stuff, from AFTV merch to catching our latest videos to voting in polls to building your 11s as well before games, so we can see what you want to go with. Let us know on socials for all that as well. And of course, it's totally and utterly free to do. A big thanks to Laurie, big thanks to everyone who tuned in and all the callers. Fantastic as always. And we'll see you tomorrow to react to a great, I was about to say a great weekend, a great win. Liverpool nicked it. It could have been great, but Arsenal very much doing their thing.